about Ms. Selena Powell and her sort of come to Jesus moment. But in that same vein, I want to talk about something that I've spoken about in the past. And this directly pertains to what we are going to witness on this Fresh and Fit podcast. Not only, well, I don't know, maybe kind of with Selena Powell, but more or less with Miss Quantum Physics. Because she asks the age-old question that women have been asking really since, 20, 30 years after feminism. And that question is, why is it that women who sleep around are called, well, S-words, banana gobblers, slurs, while men who sleep around are called studs? In other words, why do women get admonished when they sleep around while men are admired? And that really seemed to be a sticking point for Miss Quantum Physics, aka I'm in love with I'm in love with a stripper girl. It's really, really hard to take someone seriously when they say they study quantum physics and they're a stripper. Very, very, very difficult, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna try to take her as seriously. We're gonna try to take her as seriously as we can without, we're gonna try to be respectful. Anyway, there are few topics, few subjects that always spark a healthy debate and really get people talking, right? Did OJ do it? Right? Who's better, LeBron or MJ? Donald Trump, etc., etc. One such topic is, why are women who sleep around sluts and why are men who sleep around studs? Why is there a double standard? Well, the word stud has a positive connotation, along with the word lady killer, player, etc. The word slut clearly has a negative connotation. And people, mostly women, always ask why this double standard exists. Now, back in the day, women didn't sleep around, okay? They didn't sleep around. Most women, the vast majority of women, they stayed virgins until they got married, right? They stayed virgins until they got married, had kids. Then they take care of the family. They lived happily ever after. Now, women who slept around back then were few and far between because they were shunned from their communities. They were more or less given the scarlet letter and labeled as outcasts. If a woman without a husband were to get pregnant, she would be destitute. Life was effectively over for them because the community looked down upon and shunned this kind of behavior and ostracized it and basically put these women in exile. Then the sexual revolution came, which started to make it okay for women to sleep around. So instead of being shamed for promiscuous behavior, they were actually encouraged and praised when they exercised their right to have sex with whoever they wanted, whenever they wanted, as many times as they wanted, with as many guys as they wanted. Now, in the beginning, these promiscuous women, they weren't really shamed because this was kind of a new thing. It was kind of a new concept. It had always been one way, but giving women permission to sleep around wasn't something people were too familiar with because it was characterized as something progressive and actually good for women. And because of this, nobody really batted an eye when a girl admitted to having, sex with 3 guys in 3 days. Well, fast forward a few decades, where women are now sleeping with men into the triple digits before they're 25, and people are no longer silent about the promiscuous behavior of women. Sleeping with 3 or 4 guys before getting married was still bad for women, but it didn't damage them beyond repair. But the promiscuous behavior of women these days has far surpassed anything that anyone could have ever imagined during the sexual revolution. Listen, it's one thing to sleep with a few guys, but women these days are sleeping with men at a rate that is so high that by the time they actually decide to settle down, they don't really even enjoy sex anymore. It's not a novelty. It's as though the fun has literally been fucked out of them. Well, these kinds of women get shamed and ridiculed for engaging in this kind of behavior, and men who engage in the same behavior aren't looked down upon. In fact, men like this are admired and praised for being able to sleep with a lot of different women. And that's what begs the question, why are studs praised and why are sluts shamed? Well, this question is disingenuous because it is so obvious as to why this double standard exists but women don't want to admit it. In fact, most slut shaming comes from women because they inherently know and understand that fucking a bunch of dudes is not good for them no matter what they say. So let's answer the question. Why does this double standard exist? Well, there are two reasons why studs are good and sluts are bad. Number one, it's biology. Okay? Guys, here are the facts. Sperm is cheap, eggs are not. We as men, we can reproduce until death. We can make babies until we kick the bucket. Yeah, granted, obviously, the older we get, the lower the quality of our sperm becomes. But by and large, men, we can reproduce until the day we die. And anytime the law of supply and demand says that, hey, if there's an abundance of something, it's a little cheaper. Now, women can only reproduce for a finite amount of time, and they can only reproduce a finite number of people. And for that reason, men, we are designed to be polygamous. Women are designed to be monogamous. This is why women commit to women who have appeared to only have slept with a few men, if any, virgins. And why women are attracted to men who have a lot of sexual experience with women. Sure, we as men, we will smash these women, and women will date men without having sex with them, but their commitment is reserved for the virginal women and experienced men on the other side. This is why men are less discriminate about the women we sleep with, okay? We don't have to carry the baby. There's no physical investment. We get the girl pregnant, that's our contribution. Women have to be discriminate because if they get pregnant, and again, this is on a subconscious level, if they get pregnant, that's a 9-month investment physically, and then another 18-year investment after. There's more at stake for women, subconsciously, sexually, for women than for men. Biologically speaking, women have to be more selective because they have only so many eggs. Like I said before, we have an infinite number of sperm, so we can stick our dicks in anything and everything, consequences be damned. We are programmed to spread our seed as widely and as vastly as possible. Women are designed to seek out the best genes, physically. Now, birth control and Noitroba, spelled backwards, Noitroba, Noitroba, spelled backwards, has completely removed the need for women to be discriminatory about the men they have relations with. It's completely removed it. And if there's no risk of pregnancy, if you can just go out and get a Noitroba, you can just throw caution to the wind and really bang whoever you want. You're not going to get pregnant. Promiscuous women give away what should be reserved for one man. Women who act like men should act sexually. And let's define that. That is sleep around, right? Sleep around until their long-term relationship material. Just like men who act like women should act sexually in the sexual marketplace and not sleep around isn't worth committing to as far as women are concerned. Let me repeat that. Women who act like men on the sexual marketplace, which means sleeping around indiscriminately, men don't commit to those women long term. On the other side of the fence, men who act like women should and don't sleep around at all, women don't want those men either. They don't want sexually inexperienced men. Women who act like men and men who act like women repulse the opposite sex, guys. Number two, the second reason for this double standard, getting dick is easy. Getting peace leave is not. Guys, I'm here to tell you, no matter what they say, girls know that getting laid is easy. All they have to be is there and willing. They just have to be female and willing, and they can get all the sausage they want. Getting laid as a man is extraordinarily difficult, even if a man is in fantastic shape, drives a nice car, runs airtight game, his chances of getting laid are still slim. A man who gets laid a lot has to hit on a lot of chicks, and the reason I know this is because I used to be that guy. I used to approach dozens, sometimes hundreds of women. I used to approach dozens of women a day, hundreds a week. In the pickup artist world, if you are closing 10%, in other words, if 1 out of every 10 women you approached you had sex with, you are a god. You are King Dingaling. Paul Janka, one of the greatest pickup artists of all time, had a legendary closing percentage of 11%. This means that 1 out of every 9 women he approached and talked to, he ended up smashing. Here's another dichotomy. A man who is a 10 will have a much more difficult time smashing a female 6 than a female 6 has of smashing a man who is a 10. Guys, I'm here to tell you, female 3s, 4s, and 5s get more dick, infinitely more dick, than male 3, 4s, and 5s get peace leave. And guess what? I'm here to tell you this too. Male 3s, 4s, and 5s don't get any poo nanny. So the bottom line is that being a hoe is easy. Girls know that it is easy to sleep with a lot of guys. This is exactly why the overwhelming majority of slut shaming comes from females. That's the worst thing you can call a woman, is a hoe. When two girls are fighting, what's the first thing they want to call each other? Oh yeah, well, you're a hoe. Yet they want to turn around and talk about, well, you know, you should forgive a woman for her sexual past. Really, then why are you shaming your former friend who sucked off the Phoenix Suns? Why are you calling her a hoe if a woman should be forgiven for her sexual past? Women know how easy it is to get sausage. Now, we as men, we will never know. We know it's easy, but we will never know just how easy it is for women to get laid. We may think we know, but trust me, it is a lot easier than even we think it is, and women know this. A woman who brags about smashing a lot of guys is like a dude bragging that he woke up and brushed his teeth. Rollo Tomasi famously said that women are the gatekeepers to sex. We as men are the gatekeepers of commitment. This is why men want more than anything to learn to sleep with beautiful women on the regular, and women want more than anything than to be married or be in a long-term relationship with a man of value. It's easy for women to get sausage, but getting commitment from a man, getting long-term commitment from a man, that's the trick. And that's why women shame each other for being hoes, but then congratulate them for actually locking down a man. It's the same with men on the opposite sides. Listen, men, we know how easy it is to date around. We know how easy it is to have platonic relationships with women, non-sexual relationships with women. We know that it's easy to get a girl to want to marry us because it's what they want. We can go out and hit on any fatty, date her for a couple of weeks, put a ring on it, she'll say yes. But we congratulate each other for sleeping around. High fives and hand pounds. Oh, you smashed Becky, word up. Oh, you smashed Rachel, I got you. But what do we do when one of our buddies tells us he's getting married? Becky wore me down. I'm going to put a ring on it. What do? We try to talk him out of it. We make half-hearted, backhanded jokes about how his life is effectively over. And we're not kidding. Men of value do not commit to hoes for obvious reasons. They're hoes. On the flip side, women are not attracted to men who want to commit too soon. That is the male version of a slut. They're giving away what's easy for them to give away, which is commitment. A woman who sleeps with a man 2 hours after they meet, that's the same thing as a woman proposing to a man proposing to a woman 2 weeks after they start dating. It is literally the same thing. Women are the gatekeepers to sex, and this is why they shouldn't give it away so freely and easily. Men, we are the gatekeepers to commitment. This is why we shouldn't give that away so freely and easily. When both do it, it is unattractive to the opposite sex. People are shamed for doing what's easy and bragging about it as though it takes effort. People are praised for accomplishing what's difficult. Let me repeat that. People are praised for accomplishing what is difficult to accomplish. Getting sausage is easy for women. Okay? Getting peace leave for men is not easy. And that is why studs are praised and sluts are shamed.